went to the gym as well. What is up, good people? You're watching Brodsy Entertainment. I am joined with a lovely Kitty, and we have a Brodsy and Kitty collaboration today. We're going to be talking everything Superman. Da, da,
Superman.
da, 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 da. How are you, Kitty? Anyway,
We're supposed to have just ripped off, aren't we? Then,
I know, I know, I know, I know. That would have been perfect. That would have
um,
been perfect.
I'm good, thank you. I got to watch it in 3D.
3D. I mean, I got to watch it on a dodgy copy, unfortunately.
I watched it on through. I didn't just watch Superman. I watched it in 3D.
Wow. What was that like?
I was very surprised because I suffer with vertigo, so I was expecting, to start feeling a bit, but it was really good actually. And I only did that once, where I thought something was coming at me.
Hmm.
That once, so it was good.
All right, let's just start. What was your best ever Superman movie?
Um, it's always going to be Christopher Reeves, and I think the one with Richard Pryor.
Oh yes, that number three. That is, I think, is number
Yeah,
three or two.
but I think Richard
No,
Pryor
number
made
two.
more of my
Three.
favorite.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Oh,
favorites.
that was quite funny. Richard Pryor.
Yeah,
Actually,
Richard,
I forget that you done that
he's
one.
always going to. I mean, my favorite Superman, if you're going to ask that,
Yeah.
is always going to be Henry Cavill, but that's for totally different reasons.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I mean with the whole the whole movies and stuff that they've done with Wonder Woman, Aquaman. I think Henry Cavill's obviously. I think he nailed that role, and a lot of people are upset actually about this.
That was his role. I think Henry Cavill it was born to play two people, and if he doesn't play the second person, I'd be very disappointed. And I think you know where I'm going with this. He was born to play Superman. That chiseled jaw is just Superman jaw, isn't it?
Yeah.
And in his James Bond, I think he deserves a stint at
Oh
James.
yeah, that's a good one actually, and maybe that's why. To be honest with you, maybe that's why he's turned down this role. 'Cause maybe he's just signed up for the James Bond
Yeah, because
franchise.
I know he, in an interview he said that he auditioned for it last time when Daniel Craig got it,
Yeah,
but he was too young. So I'm hoping now we've moved on because he is the English gentleman. Let's look. When you read the books about James Bond, it sounds like Henry. He's also played the person that James Bond was supposedly based on in real life.
mm.
My random facts. Anyway, that to me is the bestest Superman. But as for films, what's the one where three come down to take
That
over the?
that's number two. That's Superman 2.
Yeah, that one. That was my favorite film. I loved obviously Richard Pryor in it as well, but the films it's got to be Christopher Reeves
Okay.
and the beginning. But
Yeah.
I do love the whole DC franchise as we've moved on, and obviously Henry.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's get a rating for the movie. Out of 10, what are you rating it?
6, and that is only because of the dog.
um.
Go
Yeah,
on.
I think I've got to say 6 as well. To be honest with you, I think I've got to say about a 6. What the one thing that I was really really disappointed in was the fact that there was that Mr. Marvelous and the Lantern guy, and at some stages in that film, Mr. Marvelous is pretty much the main guy
Yeah.
and saves Superman too. I didn't like the way Superman kept getting hurt. I hate it. I hate that. Like once only normally, and then he overcomes it, and then gets stuck in.
And
Um,
part of it, he had to have help.
yeah,
Now, if you are a comic aficionado, we don't like that because Superman, like you say, gets hurt once, and then he grows from it and he comes back,
yeah,
and he overcomes. In this film, he needed help, and so obviously the story and the trope is everybody needs help from time to time. Stop telling us that. We know that that's real life. We don't want real life when we're watching Superman. This is a fantasy.
mm.
This is the fantasy. This is the comic. This is
Y-
we
y-
want the comic.
you see, what I wouldn't have minded, is obviously they're starting it's a brand new show, brand new story. They're telling with a totally different character. If it's a case of Superman needing help, I wouldn't have minded if it was a younger Superman and he was still developing. That
Mm.
would have been better for me. But you can't have this. Like you can't go from Henry Cavill straight away into another actor, and then just like this guy just looks so weak and so
Reg-
like
regression, wasn't it, of
yeah,
to Henry, you know. And also, what was it about making his mum and dad thick? I'm sorry.
rednecks. They were proper rednecks. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
ma and pa, come on.
yeah, and she had a real southern twist to her, didn't she? Indeed.
Yeah, and pa just sat there going, and then he comes out with a bit of wisdom at the end. I mean, I don't want to spoil it for everybody, but
Yeah.
I don't like that either. You know, Clark Kent came from a family that were upstanding, and I don't like them going from the comics. Hi, my name's Kitty. I am secretly a comic nerd. Can I just say, I am
Mm-hmm.
secretly a serious comic nerd. I don't like them playing with this. I like the castings of certain people, and if they get it right, they get it right. Aquaman, Jason Momoa, perfect. You know, that sort of, I love the right castings of
Do you know
the,
what I didn't like as well? Sorry, Superman's costume at some stages. His costume looked like something from a fancy dress shop. Like
yeah.
it didn't look right, did it? I imagine you seeing it in like 3D or whatever looked.
Wasn't, it was a regression. It was back to the Christopher Reeve. Obviously they'd gone back to the Christopher Reeve,
Okay, yeah, I get that then. I get that.
you know. Also, it was, there was too much of a regression. I know what James Gunn wants to literally erase that Zack
Yeah.
Snyder era, right? Which is fine. I understand that, because Zack Snyder took it very, very dark.
Hmm.
I personally enjoyed that a little bit.
Yeah, I think most people did, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
And
but
Superman really was the Man of Steel. Like really was the Man of
yeah,
Steel.
even Batman was, you know, he had a little bit of comedy. There was a little bit of, I mean, I'm not his greatest fan, Ben Affleck, but he was, you know, you looked at him and you
No,
saw,
he done well with that role for me.
yeah, Wonder Woman was Wonder Woman. You know, she was this Amazonian queen, and it was so right. What he should have done was take that cast. But then, if he took that cast, I think he wouldn't have been able to get the movie, because it was there was quite a lot of comedy in it.
Yeah, yeah. It.
Simple comedy, but there was comedy. But there was comedy in Zack Snyder's.
What about the politics? What about the politics in it?
I don't like
That was quite interesting. What did you take from it in terms of the politics from it?
that there is a war going off, and there are two countries that are fighting for a strip of land. Really?
Hmm.
Really? And that Superman was an alien, and he's coming over to take everything that we want and have, because that's what aliens do. People
Yeah.
that are refugees from another planet.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, guys. Turn away if you don't want to hear it. So
Sorry.
obviously, Superman gets this message from his family, and he only ever gets to see half the message. Apparently, where it was like being positive, go there, be a beacon of light, help the country, and all the rest of it. And then obviously, Lex Luthor breaks into his little hideout, and his tech person sort of deciphers the second part of the message, and it says something about like dominate over the country and
What?
impregnate and in like sow your royal oats all over this gaff and
Yeah,
yeah.
basically take over from the inside out, if you know what I mean. So I don't like that, because obviously then at the end, again, spoiler alert, Lex Luthor is screaming, "You've come over to take over. You're going to take all our stuff. You're going to take everything." Sounds so familiar.
Mhm.
And you know, you could have just put Nigel Farage's face on it, really, couldn't you?
Mm.
I mean, Nicholas Hoult was absolutely brilliant as Lex Luthor. Can I just say,
Yeah.
he was a baddie. He was the evil Lex Luthor. He was set on world domination. Um, but I think he was. Do you think he was sort of moulded on someone a little bit more orange?
uh poss- um possibly. I don't There's always subliminal messages in movies and stuff, and who knows where James Gunn was going with it, but for me, just you can't have this, you can't go from Henry Cavill to this weak ass Superman, like, and especially with all the movies DC have done with Superman and stuff, like Superman is the badass. He turns up, he kicks ass. No one, like the way he was easily dealt with, and I think you're trying to sell Superman. Just don't sell three other characters like Mr. Marvelous, the Lansom guy. Like, that's just it just takes away the sting away from, like, it just takes away the limelight from Superman,
I,
especially the fact that they gave him as well.
I couldn't work out these guys at first. I was getting really confused. Were they good guys or bad guys? Because I couldn't. There was no definition. Normally when you watch a film, you know who the good guy is and the bad guy is, especially comic films,
Mm,
right? Um, so for me, when they first turned up, I was like, "Hey, who are these?" And I think personally, right, Henry Cavill replacing Henry Cavill is like trying to replace Chad Boseman in
mm,
Panther. You can't,
mm.
you can't do it because they've played it so well. It's their character now.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And what do you? So let's play into James Gunn's thought process. What do you think he's trying? What message do you reckon he was trying to put out there with this sort of character? Need an illegal alien comes over. Um, he's been given a positive message from his family, and he's lived his life way with that positive message. And then all of a sudden, there's a second part of that message. And what do you think was the process of his thought
But
process
not
behind that?
everybody coming over here to do bad. And even those that originally are coming over to do bad, they can change with our help and with our love. They can change and they can become one of us and live peacefully. It's up to you to make the choices. You make the choices at the end of the day. So if you've come over and your idea is to just take, maybe step back and take a look at yourself.
Mm.
That's what I got. from those bits alone, those bits where he
Yeah.
gets the message and he's sitting with Pa on the thing and he says, at the end of the day, you make the choices. You're the
Mm.
one that you decide what kind of Superman you are.
Mm. Um, I'm a little bit underwhelmed, let's just say, and I just think, I like, I just think that they could have, like, if you wanna get this progression story going, like, where Superman needs help and stuff. What you do is you sell it to us you sell him as a building character, as a young man, sort of, rather than a fully grown man that's at the peak of his powers getting his ass whooped.
Yeah, but Zack Snyder had started that with the Justice League, hadn't he?
Mm.
The Justice League, he'd started the whole we work as a team.
I suppose so. Yeah, I suppose so.
With it ending, we need a round table and there will be, so many seats and blah blah blah. The Justice League was starting with this is us. We are going to be a team. We are going to work together. So we were prepared for the Superman may need help,
Mm.
or Superman is called in to reinforce the help, because that's
Yeah.
basically what happened in that film, wasn't it?
Indeed, he came in and he kicked ass straight away.
He
But I
did.
suppose some people say there's there's Superman, and then there's the other one, like, with all the other guys and stuff. I can't remember the name
Yeah.
now.
To me, like I say, Henry Cavill was born to play that role. That chiseled jaw, the whole thing, the whole package, and he has got quite good comedy timing as well. The straight man in the
Hmm.
comedy.
Hmm.
So I quite like that, and that's why I think he'd make a good Bond as well, because Bond's got a bit of comedy.
That's very interesting that you said that. That's very interesting to me, because I was sitting there thinking to myself, who on earth is going to play who on earth is going to be the new Bond? And I think you might have nailed something there.
Yeah, he's been on the radar for absolutely ages, and a lot of people they're saying it's between him and Tom Hardy. Now, I think Tom Hardy's too rough around the edges. Personally,
Yeah,
I,
nah, nah, nah. That's not. I don't think. I wouldn't like to put I never like to put a ceiling on anyone, but I don't think Tom Hardy's the man for that. Let's move on to the next superhero of the movie. The
this was
dog.
this was the star for me.
Okay.
This was the star. It made me giggle, because my dog does that all the time. Not to me, to my son. When you come home and he's doing the jumping and the get
Hmm.
down and not listening, um, and the comedy of the dog was absolutely brilliant. That I think for me the dog made it, and who knew? I didn't know that Crypto could fly, but we learned
Mm.
something new today.
Yeah, and that's probably another thing that I mean, it was amusing. I like seeing the dog and stuff. The scenes were quite funny when, where he's helping out at the end and stuff, but it just goes back to show that Sue needed more help from his dog as well. And I just didn't like that. How coming from what we've seen from Superman, I just really didn't like that. You've got these other characters and then you've got the dog. Just
And don't forget, Lois was helping him as well, wasn't she? I mean, Lois actually went to save him. I don't think has Lois ever been to save Superman before. I mean, I know she's usually around about.
I think there's been occasions where she's take. I think there's one or two occasions where she takes the kryptonite, the
Yeah,
crypt.
those,
Is it kryptonite off him or something like that?
but walking into the lair of other superheroes, I don't think that's ever been done before.
Mm.
Um, Thank you for introducing Supergirl though as well. That was
Oh yes. Spoiler, guys. Spoiler there.
she's a bit of a wild child. Is our Supergirl?
Yes,
Uh,
and right at the end, I didn't actually. Do you know what? I didn't actually see
there wasn't one.
the, was there no post credits?
I sat and waited and waited and waited with my 3D glasses on, waiting for that.
Oh no, they would have done post credits. They always do that, don't they?
The only thing that they did was him sitting on a planet with the dog.
Okay. Was
That was
I
it.
need to have a look at that. That's what happens when you watch it on a dodgy copy. You never get it
Yeah.
right, do you?
Because everybody knows that the true thing is catching that glimpse at the end, isn't it?
Hmm.
But yeah, you can't go from a Henry Cavill Superman to the Superman you've given us and just try and hide it behind a funny dog.
Yeah, funny dog, Mr. Marvelous, he was a good character, really good character. Too powerful for me because he comes in and he takes care of everything. He literally dominates and saves the day, and I felt that was too much.
Yeah, to me, and that hair thing was doing my head in. Uh, there was too many superheroes. We
Mm,
only went for one. We didn't
yeah.
go for the League. We went for Superman.
That's what I was trying to say. Like Justice League is a movie on its own, Superman is a movie on its own, and we should have just had Superman for me. And if you wanted to progress his powers, fine, but you got to make him a younger man. Shout out to Lewis in the chat.
Yeah, I totally agree. You can't have Superman being helped. Superman shouldn't. Superman is who you call for help, as in the Justice League, as we saw when they brought him back, because that's who they needed to help them bring it all in. It was Superman.
Mm,
So you don't. Superman doesn't ask for help. He doesn't get help because Superman is who you call for help.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I suppose you just gotta believe the characters as well. You have to just you just gotta believe that this Superman is just real badass. Real badass. He's got all these powers, and we saw everyone else's powers. We didn't really see
Yeah,
much from him. And especially watching him get beat up by a robot. That's just taking the piss.
that, that but
When he gets beat up by a robot, that's just taking the piss, mate.
there was a lot of robots. I mean, the ones that were helping him as well. I didn't like that either.
Yeah, that was a bit weird, to be fair, wasn't it?
Yeah, the whole he was talking to them like they were family and whatever, and this that threw me a little bit because
Mm,
he was supposed to, he isn't the story that he grew up. I mean, he finds out who he is when he becomes of a certain age. He finds out that he's Superman and blah blah.
mm.
But then to the whole robots thing just no, just freaked me out. Just freaked me out. I did sort of guess who was behind the mask though.
The Ultraman, yeah.
Yeah, I guessed who it was. Um, the moment that he could get into the thing, I thought, "Ooh, there's something there," because only Superman could get in, couldn't he?
Yeah. Do you want to explain that, Nico? Nico's just put something just there. Nico Bello, is there Superman why he couldn't see through Ultraman's face? You should have known Ultraman as a clone before. Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's loads of things. There's loads of things this is the thing. We're so used to seeing Superman with his crazy powers,
Yeah, but I am really, really grateful for one thing. One thing, right? they explained why no one conceived that Clark Kent is Superman.
That was good. I like that part. I like that part.
Yes, and I was like, thank the Lord, we
I
now
like that.
know.
Do you want to just explain it?
Yeah. So apparently, when Lois goes in to see Mr. Marvelous, she's sort of letting things slip. He's letting things slip that they both know who Superman is, and they both know that he's Clark Kent. And then Marvelous goes, "So you know about the hypno glasses? Then when he puts the glasses on, nobody can tell that he is Superman." And it was like a life-changing moment, because for years we've all laughed at the joke, haven't we?
Yeah, Chris Reeves. Yeah. Do you know the old Superman? Like, how would you not know that was Superman?
Yeah,
Like, just
exactly. And I think I've seen interviews with Henry Cavill when he's sat on the sofa with who's Friday night, Gareth, no, what's his name, the Irishman anyway, and he goes, put the glasses on, and who are you? And it's been a standing joke that how do they not know? And
yeah.
finally we have the answer, that these glasses that were obviously probably made by the robots,
Yep.
hypno glasses, and nobody knows. The moment he puts them on, he is
Yeah, and just talking about the main villain, Ultraman, in that, Lex Luthor is able to make a spoiler again, guys. Lex Luthor is able to make a clone of Superman by taking his hair or whatever, which they have done in. They did that in Superman 4, to be honest with you, and they made that sun sort of Superman guy. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that one.
Out the people that were helping Lex, were they goodies or baddies? That was very confusing, because there they were out in the middle of nowhere, and then Mr. Terrific turns up, and they're just like, oh, okay. After a bit of a fight, they all go, right, okay, do what you're doing. And I'm like, they're not villains. The villains are invested, aren't they? They help out.
It's obviously it went political. Lex Luthor's like he's a tech globalist or whatever, and he's got the government in his pocket, and it shows that he's got like a world leader in his pocket that's basically just a puppet. They do a bit of underground stuff where they got different universes where he's able to travel through or whatever, and you see he's got like the monkeys doing the bot thing, typing away and stuff like that. So that was quite interesting as well.
That was interesting.
Not far from the truth what really happens. I don't know if it's
I
monkeys.
was like, I wonder who that's sort of. I don't like politics in comics. Don't put the politics in my comics. Get them out. So the whole, the country's fighting over that bit of land, and it was all going to be Lex's at the end of it, wasn't it? That is far too close to home at the moment. And then obviously, Lex Luthor is selling arms, but also.
Yeah. What did you think of the film, Nico? What did you think of the film? Because you're typing in the chat there. What did you think of the film as a whole? Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, it could well be. I mean, the bit where he's saying about the possibility that Ultraman will die and blah blah blah. You see, that would have been perfect for the Zack Snyder side of it, because he could have brought him back at the, that's that bit at the end where he's crawling back. That would have been a Zack Snyder sort of, check mark.
Yeah. It was average, yeah. To be fair, it was one. It's a very average movie. I just didn't like. I don't like it when my superheroes get their ass beat. Like, especially the last couple of James Bond. Like, just constantly crying, getting beat, and just all sloppy.
This is it, isn't it? They're taking these fake characters of maleness, let's say, and they're turning them into metrosexual men. Now, one of the reasons we love these stories, and one of the reasons that we love the fantasy of it all, is that they are male, and they are alphas, and they are
alpha males, yeah.
And they are everything that men are supposed to be without being toxic. So they've now made it political that they're not allowed to be like that because it's too toxic. They're not. They're just being men. Want to save the world. Want to protect the world.
When shit kicks off, you want a toxic man to turn up and save the day. Unfortunately.
Yeah, you've got to be. You've got to be that egotistical to want to do it. You've got to be. Otherwise, you're like, no, not today, love. I'm all right. But
Yeah,
yeah,
my main critique of the movie is just there was just too much help. Like the dog was cute. You had all those other superheroes showing their powers. I wanted to see it's a Superman movie. I want to see Superman show us some special, like even come up with some new powers or something. Like because just not good.
what's John Cena's character? I'd rather have seen a little bit of him
Mm,
in it because we already know, obviously, about him.
yeah.
Um, or maybe some of the Justice League turning up. I wouldn't have minded if they were there because we know that the Justice League are there to help and back him up in things.
Yeah, but not in the first movie. The first movie's
No,
got to be all Superman. Like, the first movie's got to be all Superman. You can't have all this help. I don't like it. I don't believe the character. Don't believe the story. Way too far fetched for me. Like, and especially, like when the villains have their evil plans, like, and Lex Luthor's obviously opened up the portal of the world, and it's like opened a black hole in the real world, and everything's just getting destroyed. Like, half the bloody world was destroyed then, wasn't it? By that, like literally, like I was just like, surely it can't reach the city and destroy the whole city. Like, it was just too much for me, to be honest with you.
I like the fact that they took it into 2025 in the sense of they were there with the selfies and things like that. And I do like the fact that they took it into 2025. I don't like the fact that they've regressed Superman back to a metrosexual male man that needs help. Don't do that. Superman, like I say, is who you call when you need help,
Yeah,
not to be helped.
yep, yep. And obviously they were able to.
Was fabulous. The comedy
Yeah,
value of brilliant. The comedy value even of the robots a little bit were making me laugh.
yeah.
Like
No, they were quite funny. To be fair, I can't lie. They were quite funny.
welcome back as well to sexy women. I will say that was quite nice to see. Girls sort of looking sexy and not being allowed. Like
I think there was only one. There was only one woman, really, wasn't there? That Lex Luthor's assistant or
yeah,
something like that, isn't it?
she was sort of sexy-ish. Like can you remember Gene Hackman when he was Lex Luthor? And
Yes,
that
indeed.
I mean he had Pamela Stevenson.
Yeah.
And she was this blonde, bubbly, cute, gorgeous.
Y-
And in the recent ones, they've not been allowed to do it because of the Me Too movement, and it's not politically correct to show women like that. No, it is. This is a cartoon. This is a character. This is fantasy. This is what it's all about. Stop it. So it was nice to see that sort of side of it.
Mm,
The comedy of the ditzy female. And feminist, well, you can come for me, but it's a fantasy. Can I
mm,
just say it's a fantasy? But it was nice to see because it
mm,
was it sort of took me back to the Pamela Stevenson and the whole
mm-hmm.
70s, the pretty women.
What's next then? What's next to the next Superman? What do you reckon he's gonna? What do you reckon James Gunn's gonna go with? What do you reckon? Where
Uh,
do you think he's gonna go with it?
I think Lex is going to be
Pardon me.
released. I think he's going to be his nemesis
Oh
forever.
yeah, he'll break out for sure. Yeah, he'll break out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's just got to he's got to make him stronger. He's got to make him Superman,
Mm,
not Superman with a bit of help. He's
yeah.
he's got to grow some balls. I'm sorry.
And then spoiler alert again, guys. Superman's cousin turns up halfway through, and it turns out that the dog is actually hers, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
It's
I mean,
actually her dog.
but in the sense of she's just a typical teenager. She's just like, yeah,
Mm.
I'm going to another planet because I can't get drunk on this one, and I thought that was funny. But um, I think maybe I would like to see another Justice League movie.
Yes, yes, for sure, for sure.
I would really like to see another Justice League, but it's got to be done properly. It can't be done like he's doing, and I want the politics gone, gone. I
Mm,
have never watched a comic film and come away thinking about politics.
mm.
Was there any in the Suicide Squad? Was there any in the Justice League? Oh, okay, there was a bit in Aquaman, keeping the sea clean.
Yeah, yeah. I think do you know, as you get older, you start to see that there's politics in everything. There's literally politics in everything. Like, once your brain is sort of awakened, you can sort of see certain things, like, that relate to real world dramas and
I
life and stuff.
suppose. And like you said to me the other day, I'm sort of starting to come away, can't I, to all of this, and it's like those. I just didn't like the messages. We know what's happening in the real world. We do know what's happening in the real world. You don't need to keep putting it out there. This is fantasy.
Mm.
A
Yeah, that
little,
was.
a
I
little
would
message.
like to. I'll be interested to see what James Gunn's politics are. Like that'd be quite interesting to see.
Oh, I think we know what his politics are. I think he showed them very well what his politics are.
Yeah.
So he's very much he's chosen his side. I would imagine with the Israel thing, and I think he's chosen his side. With immigration. That he's all. I think he's possibly loony left.
Mm.
I genuinely do, because there was too much of people are good guys.
Mm.
I was thinking about this the other day. That guest you had on that time when she really railed you about having more immigration and
Oh yeah,
more
yeah, yeah.
coming
Yes,
in.
yes, yes.
And then she says, but I don't want any Israelis and I don't want any people that are ISIS.
Hmm.
And I was thinking about this the other day. Are you going to check then if they're coming in illegally?
Yeah. Yes,
How,
indeed.
how, how, how do we police who's coming in if they're coming in illegally?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's stay on Superman, but
Oh, it's
yes,
just thought
yes.
random.
Um,
Like,
in
Look, Superman is Superman. Stop jessying him up. He's not a Jesse.
yeah. To save the movie, for me, to save the franchise, they're gonna have to go back to basics. The next Superman, they're literally gonna have to give the guy. They're gonna have to show this guy being alpha, not requiring help from every Tom, D, and Harry. If you, I mean, it's fine. Obviously, there's certain situations like it's believable, like like with the guy that the Lex Luthor gets that monster guy that can recreate any sort of material, and he generates
Yeah.
krypton, so it starts to make him weak and stuff. So I understand that part. That was fair. Before that, Superman getting his ass beat up by a clone and stuff, that weren't for me, to be honest with you. So they need to toughen Superman up for sure.
There was bits that he needed help, and it was okay to accept it. Like, he had to be in Metropolis and couldn't be in, was it Jaipur?
Mm.
Yeah, so he couldn't be there. I understand that bit of help there, that bit.
Hmm.
But when it comes to fighting big monsters, he doesn't need the help of Mr. Marvelous. He doesn't need the help of. He's Superman. He can do this.
Yes,
Got this. That's Superman's job.
indeed, indeed. Perfect way to end it. Guys, I thank you very much for joining us. Make sure you go over to our socials and give us all a follow and a subscribe. Put comments in there, guys. I'd love to hear what people have to say about this. I have a feeling that the heavy Superman critics are going to be like, yeah, it was just okay. But yeah, just okay for me. Just
It
okay.
was.
I'm glad I didn't go to the cinemas to watch it.
It was a welcome back. Okay, welcome back, Superman. But it wasn't good enough. That to me was it. It wasn't good enough. It wasn't Superman is who you call to save
Hmm.
the, not who saves. Rings people up and says, "Come and help me."
Indeed, indeed. Guys, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Hope you all have a lovely day. Peace and love to the world. Shout out to Lewis in the chat. Have a good one,
Yeah.
buddy.